May is an incredibly important month here in the city of Greeley in terms of honoring our past and sharing our story. I'm here today with Betsy Kellums, who's going to tell us a little bit more about why. It's Historic Preservation Month. Now, what does that mean, Betsy? What is historic preservation and why is it important?
Thank you, Becca. It's great to be here with you. Historic preservation is, of course, the preservation of old buildings, sites, structures, objects, districts, and even landscapes. And without having that tangible representation of the past and connection with the past, it's very easy to forget where we came from, to forget those important stories, and that includes the good stories and the bad stories. And we learn from those things so we can move forward, not to mention the fact that historic architecture is often very attractive.
It's true. I'm a big fan of historic architecture. I live in a house that is 4 years old, but I dream of the days when I live in a building with a bit more character. So the city has a lot planned this month to observe Historic Preservation Month. Can you tell us about some ways residents here in Greeley can get involved?
Absolutely. We're having a free walking tour, and I would like to put the emphasis on free. We will be having the walking tour on Monday, May 15th. At 5:30 p.m. in the Sunrise neighborhood. We will meet on the west side of Charlie and Laura Archibek Park, formerly the Sunrise Park, which is between 11th and 12th Streets on 4th Avenue. We'll meet there at 5:30 and walk around the neighborhood. We'll hear from a few people who've lived in the neighborhood for a long time and hear their stories, their connections to the neighborhood. So that will make it a little bit more fun than normal.
Now, I don't want any spoilers. I'm going to try not to ruin the tour because you have to come to get the full story, but why this neighborhood? Why is it part of the Historic Preservation Walking Tour?
Well, part of it is my own personal bias. I love the Sunrise neighborhood. But it's just a particularly significant neighborhood because, as things are changing in our society today and there's a lot of emphasis on, diversity and stuff, this neighborhood has been historically, culturally diverse ever since it was established. It was established by Germans from Russia who moved to Greeley. So when Nathan Meeker founded Greeley, he founded it as a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant community. But in the late 1800s, Germans from Russia moved to Greeley as there was the increase in the sugar beet industry. And the factory in Greeley was built in 1902. And so Germans from Russia settled in this neighborhood. But then soon after, Japanese, Hispanics, blacks came to the neighborhood, and then also people of different religions, including Jews, and there's even a Buddhist temple in the neighborhood.
Cool. Okay, but there's more than just the walking tour. What are some other things we've got going on this month?
Well, Council proclaimed May as Historic Preservation Month in early May, and then we also have Windows of Time documentaries and video walking tours that are airing on GTV8 this month. I'm not sure the schedule. I think that's probably on the GTV8 website. And then we also have Historic Preservation Month posters. We've been doing those for many years, and this is going to be a particularly special edition of the poster. We're featuring historic photos and current photos from the location of the historic photo. So it's a fun way to look at the current situation in Greeley and see what was there in the past.
Very cool. Now, if you're like me and you don't do a lot of live TV watching, you can also go to our YouTube channel. We have all of our documentaries listed there at Greeley Government's YouTube channel. Now, before we go, say I am someone who lives in a home with a lot of character, I wish, or maybe I work in a place with a lot of character, or my church is a historic site. Is there a way to get a special designation to say, hey, I'm part of this community, I'm part of Greeley's past and Greeley's story?
Well, as a matter of fact, you're in luck. There is. The Greeley Historic Register is a list of properties that have been determined to be historically, architecturally, or geographically significant. They are properties that go through, the owner nominates them, it goes to the Historic Preservation Commission for a public hearing. We look at various criteria that are established in the municipal code. So for example, if a house is a good example of a Queen Anne style house, it would probably be eligible for designation. So there's a lot of, there's currently 96 properties and 2 historic districts. We have lots more properties in town that are potentially eligible though. If you have interest in it, please call me.
Wonderful. So if you think you might be in a historic home, this is for you, and this is a way to get involved with the Historic Preservation Commission. To learn more about Historic Preservation Month, visit greeleygov.com/HP.